one diver is closer to the board than the other. I don't expect high scores, exactly 42 points for Team Georgia. And now the last divers for this round, Valerio and Simone, back dive, pike. Not the best of the starts for Team Italy, synchronization-wise, but the dives are well executed. 46.20 is their score. They put themselves in third place, and that concludes the first round of dives. These are the rankings after the first round. All of the teams are very close. The degree of difficulty is 2.0. So now we move on to the second round of dives with Uras, Efe, and Ahmet Ufuk. They will perform now an inward dive pike. Not the strongest push off the board. They don't jump high up in the air. One of the two athletes doesn't point his toes, and as now you've understood, I don't like that at all. Their total the first two rounds is 80.40. The home team now, Panagiotis and Spiridion. Inward 1.5 somersault, pike position. Not much synchronization while they were on the board. One of the two athletes starts moving the board before the other one, but in the air they are together. They enter the water together. 40.80, that's the score on this dive for them, and they take first place. Now, Team Switzerland. For them, front 1.5 somersault, one twist. Not very synchronized, this dive. Some differences from the hurdle. One of the two divers jumps further away from the board. So yes, only 40.20 points for them, but they still managed to get on top of the rankings. Now, Team Germany. For them, a back dive, pike position. Excellent job on the first two voluntary dives for these young German boys. Always together, good entries, nice execution, and they reached 96.60 points after the first two voluntary dives. That's a good score. That's what the top teams want to have as a score after their voluntary dives. Team Ukraine now. Same dive as Team Germany. Not the best of the voluntary dives we've seen so far. Certainly, Germany's back dive was better. Many splashes in the entries. One of the two divers is short of the vertical line, but their total is 95.40. That's still a good score for them. Now up we have Marco and Mikula. A back dive also for them. Good job on this back dive for Team Croatia. Nice strong push off the board, nice back positions, nice entries. 8s for them, 46.20, and they land in third place. Now Denmark for Rasmus and Jonas, reverse dive. Another miss for Team Denmark. The athlete closer to the camera is quite short of the vertical line, so the judges will penalize him. Only 37.20 points. This is a low score for after two voluntary dives. Team Great Britain now. They will also perform a reverse dive pike position. Much better job. Todd and Connor jump very high up. Nice pike position. The movements are always together. Boys. 48 points is their score. There's some 9s for the synchronization. Yes, I agree. Vladislav Kachanov and Artem Makarov, back dive pike. Not an amazing job. I was expecting something more from these two athletes. You see, as like one of the two athletes is farther away from the board. 7.5 in synchronization. I was expecting something more from them. But their total score after the voluntary dives is 90.60. Not too bad. Now Georgia. Front 1.5 somersault pike. Good job for the boys. Not a bad dive. Some bad noise from the hurdle, so someone is off rhythm on the hurdle. 43.80 points for a total of 85.80. You want to score something more in order to go for medals. Last dives of the round, Simone and Valerio, inward 1.5 somersault pike. We missed the entry, but the top part of the dive was very good. Exactly, they were always together. The entries were awesome. No splashes at all. And they scored 51 points on this voluntary dive. This is a very nice score, brings them up to 97.20. That's their total, and they take the lead. Here are the rankings. All of the top 5 teams are within 7 points, so they are all very close. And now with the optional dives, we're gonna see much more spinning. The DDs will be higher, so anything can still happen. We're ready with the first team for the third round. Team Turkey. They will perform an inward 2.5 somersault in attention. These athletes are very young. They're not the strongest in terms of strength. The jumps aren't that high and the entries aren't clean, so they won't receive high scores. Exactly, 44.55, not a high score for an optional dive. Moving on, the home team, Team Greece. The same dive, inward 2.5 somersault, tuck position. Lots of difference, the jump in the speed of rotation. There's no synchronization here. The dives are okay. They are straight in the entry, but not expecting high scores on the synchro part. Exactly 6.5. 54.27 is their score on this dive. Now from Switzerland, Aurelien and Kevin, inward 2.5 somersault pike position. It's a 3.0 degree of difficulty. Nicely done, boys. Very good. Always together from the jump, in the rotation. Nice sharp pike positions. Good entries. 59.40 their score. And they take the lead of the rankings. On the boards already ready are Finn and Maileon. They will perform a backwards 2.5 somersault in a pike position, and the degree of difficulty is still 3.0. So different dives, but same degree of difficulty. Good job for Team Germany. They are very synchronized. They're always together from the push to the rotation to the entries. One of the two athletes splashes too much in the entry, but 65.70 points is a good total for a 3.0 degree of difficulty dive. From Ukraine now, Valerie and Dimitro. Inward 2.5 somersault, pike position. A unique figure. No differences between the two athletes. They are always together. Nicely done, boys. Nice entries. Let's see what the judges think. Yes, exactly. 70.20 points. It's the best inward 2.5 somersault we've seen so far today. From Croatia now, Marko and Mikula, 2.5 somersault, pike position. Big mistake from Team Croatia. One of the two athletes is way short of the vertical. And there you see how his legs don't reach the vertical line. I'm expecting low scores. Yes, only 46.80 points. And this could put their hopes of medal at risk. Moving on to Team Denmark, a forward 2.5 somersault, pike position. This dive has quite a low degree of difficulty, only 2.4. Low degree of difficulty and not perfectly executed, so they won't score very high on this dive. Sixes only for them, so 41.76, they're 7th for now. Todd and Connor now from Great Britain, front 3.5 somersault, pike position, 3.1 degree of difficulty. Very good job. After some struggles on the hurdle, we could hear the bad noise from stomping the board, but they recover very well and they have great entries. 8s for them, 72.54, and they take the lead. Vladislav and Artem now in more 2.5 some pike position. Back to a 3.0 degree of difficulty dive. This is the best dive they've done so far today. Nice push off the board. The movements are together. The entries are good. 65.70 points their total score on this dive, and they go up rankings. Alexandre now and Georgi, a forward 2.5 somersault with 1 twist. An average dive. They jump together and they enter the water together, but the movements in the air are not the same. So, yes, average. I have 7, 63.90 points. And we're on with the last dive of this round. Simone and Valerio, forward 3.5 somersault, pike position, 3.1 degree of difficulty. Very good individual dives, but no synchronization at all. They're off rhythm on the board. Each one of the athletes has their own dive, but doesn't follow the other one. But the executions are very good, so they managed to score 69.75 points, even if the synchro wasn't perfect. So now we'll see the rankings, and between first and fifth place, there are only 10 points. So we still have 2 dives to go. The rankings are very short. All the first 5 are very close to one another. We'll see what happens moving on. Now, dive of the 4th round, Team Turkey. For them, forward 2.5 somersaults, pike position. Not the same timing on the board. We can see the boards making 2 separate noises, so that's not good synchronization wise. The judges award them with 6s, 42.48, and that's absolutely enough to be in the top positions. Team Greece, forward 3.5 somersaults, tuck position, 2.8 degree of difficulty. I really don't like the fact that one of the 2 athletes starts the hurdle before the other one. They probably do it on purpose because then after the jump in the air, they are together and they enter the water together. I really personally don't like that. Plus, the entries weren't perfect, so low scoring dive for Team Greece. Now, Aurelien and Kevin, forward 3.5 somersault, but this time in a pike position. Some differences in the synchronization and not perfect individual executions. This is their worst dive as of for now. Their total score is 198.87 and they managed to go at the top of the rankings, but I'm not sure they're gonna keep that first place. Now, Team Germany. Same dive. Forward 3.5 somersaults, pike position. Another mistake by Team Germany. Definitely not their day. One of the 2 divers is completely off rhythm on the board, and the other diver holds on to that pike position way too long, ends up being over. So yeah, not a happy moment for Team Germany. And now moving on, Team Ukraine, forward 3.5 somersault position. Let's see if they can do it better than the Aurelien Kevin and the German team. They do an excellent job. Some problems for them on the hurdle, but then they're very good recovering in the air, and look at those entries. They disappear under the water, no splashes, 72.54, and they take the lead. Very good job, boys. Croatia now. For them, another forward 3.5 somersaults, pike position. No, another big mistake on this forward 3.5 somersault pike. This is the worst thing that can happen in an event. One of the 2 athletes is short, the other one is over. Terrible scores here for the synchro part, only 44.64 points. I was expecting much more from Team Croatia. Well, now Denmark, reverse 2.5 somersault, tuck position. Another mistake. Mistakes after mistakes in this competition. Completely different timings off the board. They both jump very far away from the springboard. Only 39.48 points. Yeah, lots of mistakes this afternoon for these boys. From Great Britain now. Todd and Connor, front 2.5 somersault with double twist. This is the highest degree of difficulty of this competition. We will see a few more of these. And they nailed it. Good job, boys. This was an excellent dive with a very high degree of difficulty. They will score a lot of points. Exactly, 78.54 points, the lead. Very excellent job, and they are 6 points ahead of Team Ukraine. Now, Vladislav and Artem, forward 2.5 somersault, pike position. Another great dive. Finally some good dives from these boys. Look at those entries, no splashes. They score 73.47 points and they are in third place behind Great Britain and Ukraine. Now, Team Georgia, front 3.5 somersault, tuck position. Their best dive for now. Always together. Good executions. Good job. Nice entries. 7.5 also for them. 60.48 points with a total of 210.18. Again, last dive of the fourth round. Simone and Valerio. They're the only ones performing this dive, this reverse twister. So it's a double reverse 2.5 somersault with 1.5 twist, pike position, and it's a 3.3 degree of difficulty. Yes, this is an amazing dive. No problems on the hurdle and on the timing this time. They're always together. Simone is a bit farther away from the board than Valerio, but 74.25 points. They land in second place, only 3 points behind Team Great Britain. It's gonna be a close finish. Look at that rankings. First Team Great Britain, second Italy, third Ukraine, and between third place and first, only 6 points. Nice to see a nice fight for medals. And we're ready for the last round. Team Turkey, back 1.5 somersault with 1.5 twist, a 2.4 degree of difficulty. They closed their competition with this dive. It's not a good dive. Very low degree of difficulty and not a perfect execution. Only 43.92 points. They closed edition at 211.35 points. That's not a very high score. But we move on with Team Greece. A back 2.5 somersault with back 2.5 somersault with half twist, pike position. These athletes have very different rhythms on the board, and so this synchronization will be nice. And also the execution isn't perfect, so I'm not expecting high scores exactly. They closed their competition at 223.17 points, and we move on with Team Switzerland. They finished their competition with a back 2.5 somersault in a pike position. An average dive, actually maybe their best dive this afternoon. They're not perfectly synchronized, but the individual executions are good. Yes, it's their best dive this afternoon, 63 points. They didn't seem completely happy with their performance this afternoon. Now, Team Germany. 4.5 somersault with 1 twist. Finally, a nice optional dive from Team Germany. This is what we're used to see from them. Always together on the hurdle, together while spinning. A nice entry, 275.40 is their final score. I'm not sure it's gonna be enough for a medal, but nice way to finish. Team Ukraine now. Forward 2.5 somersault, double twist, pike position. It's a 3.4 degree of difficulty. They were in 3rd place. Great job, awesome dives, great synchronization, but the diver that's further away from the camera lands short. We're gonna see it here in the replay. He doesn't reach the goal line in the entry. So let's see what the judges think. 307.50 is their final score. It's a good score. I think that with this dive they secure a medal. We will have to see which color the medal will be. Team Croatia now, same dive that the Ukrainian team performed, front 2.5 somersault with double twist. One of the two divers is completely back on the hurdle. He has to jump going forward, because if he jumped high towards the ceiling, he would have hit the board for sure. So very low scoring for them. Not a nice competition for Team Croatia. From Denmark now, they will finish their competition with an inward 2.5 somersault in attack position, 2.7 degree of difficulty. Once again, another mistake. They don't spin together, and the athlete closer to the camera keeps the pike position in the entry and doesn't line up correctly. So yes, their final score is the computer's stuck. Okay, their final score is only 205.83. But now, Team Great Britain, they were leading the rankings before the last round. Back 2.5 somersault in a pike position. great job. They had to score 62.82 points to take the lead. It's gonna be very, very close. I don't know if they're gonna get it. Let's see what the judges think. It's in their hands. And yes, they do. 60 points, then they take the lead. They finish at 318.28, just 3 points and a half ahead of Team Ukraine. Now, Vladislav and Artem with a forward 2.5 somersault double twist. High degree of difficulty. If they execute this dive well, they could jump ahead. They need 81.51 points. And it's good. I don't know if they're gonna reach the first place. It's very good. They're always together. The entry of one of the two athletes is twisted. So yeah, 78.54. They are second. So Ukraine falls behind. Ukraine is now in third place. Second place for Vladislav and Artem. And Great Britain is still leading. So now, Alexandre and Georgi, their last dive is a backwards 2.5 somersault in attack position. And then we're gonna have to wait for the last dive of the Italians to see the podium. Okay, good job on this back 2.5 somersault tuck. There was no medal contention here, but they finished their dive, their competition with a strong dive. 268.14 is their total. Now, Simone and Valerio, they will perform an inward 2.5 somersault in a pike position. Their degree of difficulty is 3.0, and to catch first place, they need to score 70.08 points. They will need 8 to win gold. The individual dives are executed perfectly, but Valerio goes further away springboard. I don't know if they'll win gold. Let's see what the judges think. It's gonna be so close. And they win! Team Italy wins gold with 312.30 points, just 1 point behind Team Great Britain, and in third place, 4 points behind gold, Vladislav and Artem. Too bad for Team Ukraine. They missed the medal for 1 point, but hey, this is diving. Nice finish, nice fight for medals. We'll be back in a few moments for the victory ceremony. We are back with the final victory ceremony of the day. Here are the medals and the gifts arriving on deck, and the athletes behind the podium. What an amazing finish to this competition. The medals will be presented by Kyriakos Giannopoulos, the Hellenic Swimming Federation President and European Aquatics Vice President, while the gifts will be handed by the TDC Secretary and Olympic champion Klaus DiBiase. A nice finish for the day. So fun watching these guys do their best dives. Third place for Vladislav Kachanov and Artem Makarov with 308.31 points. A nice comeback with that last dive. No big imperfections in their competition, but a monster score of 54 points on the last dive put the medal around their necks. Second place and silver medal for Team Great Britain, Paul Gegus and Conor Lano. Amazing job also for them, performing the front 2.5 somersault with double twist amazingly. 78 points for them on that dive. That's how they assured their medal. They received their gifts. And now, the European champions of boys synchro 3-meter springboard from Italy, Simone Conte and Valerio Mosca with the score of 312.30 points. What a thrilling finish this competition. 1 point separates the first from second place, and another 2 points separate second place from third. Nice smiles with their medals around their necks. Here is the podium. And now please silence for the national anthem. Nice hug for Team Italy. Now, all together for the pictures, big smiles. Valerio wins back-to-back after winning with Matteo Santoro in 2024. He wins in 2025 with Simone Conte. And this is the end of the day. We will see each other tomorrow with two finals. Girls a 1 meter board and boys a 3 meter springboard. Have a nice evening. See you tomorrow. Ciao.